unstable. I feel able to turn the tables, I could do this. Just keep moving, keep your hands up, stupid. I feel lucid, a new viewing. I can see the end, I can see my future, I can view it. It's right there for the taking. Everything I've ever wanted, dreams are just waiting. I just gotta fight for it, willing to die for it, willing to like sort of.
Hey, greetings from the year 3000, it still sucks. This is Philip J. Price, and you're listening to the Drunken Turkey Show, your one stop for this sort of thing. Hit that button, like and subscribe, you know what to do, just like every other podcast.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the Drunk Turkey Show. I'm Daniel. Alongside with me is Big Blue. Blue, how you doing, my man?
Doing good. How's everybody doing? Merry Christmas, everybody. I didn't get to jump on the Christmas special the other night, so Merry Christmas, everybody.
There you have it. There you have it. Big Blue comes through with his Merry Christmases. So, I'll say hello and thank you to everybody here. We're going to talk first and foremost. We're going to talk on the Bryan Kohberger case, and then we're going to get into the murders of Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra out of here in San Antonio. I actually went to the areas where they live. I went to their apartment, and then I went to the apartment complex where the vehicle was found. I saw and found some interesting tire marks in that area, and we'll go through those. That's going to be on the second half of the show, though. First and foremost, let's start talking about the Bryan Kohberger case. I think it was on, what was it, like last Friday, maybe, right? When we told everybody that there's going to be a document that was going to be dropped from the defense, and that they were going to be requesting, the judge, reconsider his motion of, the grand jury. And if he didn't reconsider, if he would allow them to appeal to the higher court. Well, it was on December 22nd. We broke that December 22nd. And here comes the motion to seal defendant's motion for interlocutory. So it says, comes now Bryan C. Kohberger by and is through his attorney, Ann C. Taylor, public defender, and hereby moves court for an order to seal the defendant's motion to reconsider orders denying motions to dismiss indictment, and in the alternative for permission to appeal from interlocutory orders and a stay of proceedings filed in the court on December 21st, 2023. All right. So I had already seen what the other documents, these are also being sealed. So I may have seen the ones that weren't. And from what I understand, there's going to be a hearing on what I say it was. I'm going to go look it up. I want to be accurate. I want to say it was January 26th, but I just want to make sure.
Yeah, I was going to say the January or February, but it was soon.
Oh, it was January. It was definitely January, but I don't know if it was the 26th or the 22nd. 26. All right. So we'll probably get a decision on this around that time. What do you think the judge is going to do? Do you think he's going to give him permission to appeal to the higher courts?
I think in most cases, it does sometimes have to go to the grand jury. But if there's no evidence and they don't want to waste any time, then probably not.
I don't think they're going to. I don't think they're going to win this. The judge is basically going to say, hey, I ruled wrong, or go ahead. Let's stop this process from going forward. If Ann Taylor feels that strong about this defense, it's already been ruled in. If he's found guilty, then you can appeal it through the, Supreme Court at that point, on the basis of, the indictment. And then you'd get a new trial, right? So,
you're right.
So basically, they don't have to do it this way. I don't foresee them doing it this way. Do you think that? What do you think? Do you think they're going to approve it or nah?
Yeah, I think they're not gonna approve it. I think they want to try to get the case going. Because if that happens, then it might be months before it gets heard, or it might be a few weeks. But I doubt it. It might be a couple months.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, the Moscow prosecution already came forward asking for a date sometime in the summer. They wanted to make sure that it didn't interfere with the university and the high school, given the fact that the apparently the courtroom is pretty close to where the high school is. And while there was other trial hearings, the amount of people that were going to the court and amount of people that were hanging outside trying to get a picture of Bryan Kohberger, it interfered with their schooling. So they want to make sure that if they're going to do this, or definitely they have to do this, they want to make sure that when they do this, that logistically it makes sense. And I think to that certain extent, it does make sense. I personally, and if I was one of the victim's family members, I'd want this to be done ASAP. I'd want them to, go to trial tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But, but logistically, I think it does make sense. What do you think, Lou? Do you think that pushing it till the summer is a bad thing, or do you think that they should have this trial as soon as possible?
For the logistics standpoint, it's such a small town. I think it might be okay to have it during the, I guess, the school year, during the next couple months. But I think to give the defense a little bit more time to work on everything that get denied on and try to build them a fair case, maybe summertime would be better.
Yeah. From my understanding, I think the reason they're sealing it, Lorraine B asks, why are they sealing it? I'm assuming, this is just an assumption, I don't know, but probably because if you knew the reason why what was going on, it probably wouldn't be a great defense, which is what I think happened was they didn't get the answer that they wanted when it came to the IGG. And now they're reverting to this as a final, Hail Mary, desperate type of thing. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I think. I think they didn't get a favorable deal there. And I think that they sealed it because, just the sound of it going back to something that's been already decided sounds desperate, makes their client look bad, but that might be the only move they have. You know what I mean? What do you think, Blue? Why do you think they're sealing? That's a great question, Lorraine, because you bring up a great point. I think that's what it is. What do you think, Blue?
Yeah, I mean, I honestly don't know why they're sealing it if everything else is being released to the public. Maybe it's to protect some type of information that's in there that they want to keep more sensitive for trial. I don't know. But there's nothing really in there.
Yeah. No, you're right. This is just basically saying that they wanted to, wanted the judge to reconsider his decision based on the indictment. I mean, it's in here what it was exactly that they wanted. Now, maybe there's an exhibit or something, but I don't think so. Well, there probably is, some exhibit that there was attached to the first one. You know what I mean? All that evidence that they attached to the first one as to why they wanted the indictment thrown out to begin with. So that's probably what they're trying to continue to keep sealed. I also think that they may. This is a weak case, for his defense. This sounds, regardless of whether they're trying to hide the fact that it's a weak case or not. It is. This is a Hail Mary throw. You're going back to something that's already been argued and asking the judge to reconsider his decision. It's a Hail Mary, man. That's the only. It looks desperate to me, and so I think that it's a move that's only made. You have no other move to make.
Yeah, it's like Dak Prescott and the Cowboys this weekend. They're just throwing Hail Marys, and they bombed it like always.
Bernadette Thomas comes in with a $2 super sticker. Thank you so much, Bernadette. We appreciate it. hit the wrong button. I muted myself instead of changing it back to the regular live stream. My bad. So, not really much news here in the Bryan Kohberger case, but, just kind of want to let you guys know that, hey, I guess we were right about something here. And maybe if we're right about this coming out, maybe we're right about a few other things. Maybe somebody seeing somebody outside of that house, the DoorDash driver, like maybe pointed at Coburger later on after his arrest or right before his arrest. Maybe somebody from his family talked. Maybe. Yeah.
What if he confessed to like the parents? That'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. I'm not sure he did that, but maybe. Who knows? We had somebody put something in our comments section a couple of days ago saying, do you guys know more than, what you guys are saying, or, something that's out there? Well, obviously we knew about this before this came out. So perhaps, and we'll leave it at that. Let's see. Any chance of the house not being demolished tomorrow? Probably not. I think it's getting demolished. What do you think, Blue?
I think it's getting demolished. I thought they had already done it because I saw some photos online. And I looked at they were demolishing it, but I was like, man, the house structure doesn't look right. But I think it was just somebody showing pictures of how they would do it. I think they were showing somebody with a bulldozer and just toppling it over.
Yeah, it's definitely going to happen. There's no stopping it anymore. And thank you, Canadian True Crime Book. We appreciate you so much. Gifting 5 Drunk Turkey Show memberships. Make sure you guys turn on your memberships, your gifts on if you want to become a member. We do member shows probably about twice a month. Try to do at least 3 a month. It's like a Q&A. We'll talk about anything. We talk about the case. We talk about our personal lives, things of that nature. Go to check that out. The how to join is you can just hit the join button if you're on any device outside of Apple. And if you're Apple, I think you have to go through the web browser on your phone, not the YouTube app, but the web browser YouTube, and then look up the channel and then hit join. So those are the ways that you can join the membership. Also like and subscribe. We'd appreciate that. We're trying to get this going. We're almost there.
Almost at 40K.
To our next goal. We've been almost there for a minute. Let's get us going. We'd appreciate it. And share this wherever you can, especially when we start talking about this next topic, because this one comes very, very close to home. Literally probably about a 15-20 minute drive, depending on traffic.
Yeah, it's like 5-10 minutes from my work.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. And if you're not aware, we're going to be talking about Savanah Soto and Matthew Guerra. Both were found deceased in a vehicle. What was it? Yesterday?
Yes, yesterday.
Yesterday morning. She went missing on the 22nd. She was reported, or last seen on the 22nd, was reported missing because she's 9 months pregnant and was scheduled for induction or inducement, and she didn't show up.
Yeah, she had it set up. Her mom was gonna meet her at the hospital, and she never showed up. So the mom got worried and started looking for her.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it came to a tragic end. But now it seems like this case is looking at the chief of police here in San Antonio said this was perplexing, and there's a lot of rumors going around already. I've kind of pulled some of the things that some of the families were saying. Also, like I said, I went out there to this location and videotaped around there, and we'll look at that as well. But let's get to the beginning part of this. So Savanah Soto was a pregnant San Antonio teenager missing since Friday, and her boyfriend were found shot to death in their car Tuesday afternoon in a case described by police as perplexing. Soto, 18, was last seen around 2 p.m. Friday at the Leon Valley apartment complex where she lived with her boyfriend, Matthew Guerra, 22. Soto was expecting her first child, who she planned to name Fabian, family members said. Relatives grew concerned when Soto did not show up Saturday morning for an appointment at Stone Oak Methodist Hospital, where doctors planned to induce labor. That night, her mother, Gloria Cordova, posted a message to Facebook pleading for help in finding her daughter. If you see her, please reach out to me and let me know where you see her. I'm worried about her safety. Prayers for my baby girl, Cordova wrote. The family spent the weekend and Christmas Day searching the apartment complex on the 600 block of Grissom Road where Soto had last been seen, and putting missing persons papers or posters on Monday. The Texas Department of Public Safety issued a coordinated law enforcement adult rescue clear alert for Soto. The search reached a tragic conclusion on Tuesday afternoon when the bodies of a man and a woman were found in Guerra's car, a gray 2013 Kia Optima, outside an apartment complex on the 5900 block of Danny K. Drive on San Antonio's northwest side, about 3 miles from where the couple were last seen. Police Chief William McManus said that although the bodies had not been positively identified, we believe they are those of Soto and Guerra. He said that the bodies may have been in the car for 3 to 4 days. In a tear statement Wednesday, the police department described the case as capital murder, and listed 3 victims: an 18-year-old Hispanic woman, a 22-year-old Hispanic man, and an unborn deceased child. So there's been a lot of rumors, just first and foremost on that aspect. Was the baby born? Had the baby been born? Was she still pregnant when she was deceased? It's called an unborn deceased child. So, or unborn child deceased. That means that this was a baby that was still she was still in the womb.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this calling them 3 victims means that this was not like a, somebody taking the life of somebody else and then their own.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was something that was believed to, that was strongly suspected early on, wasn't it?
Yeah. First thing that was out there, like, murder suicide. That's what they said, but it turned out not being that. Not by the facts, by what it's sounding to be now. There's not a lot of information coming out right now. I've been waiting.
I found quite a bit of information, my man. But we'll go into it. I just want to check one thing real quick. I'm gonna check it in her site. So, 3 victims, and they were in a car for 3 to 4 days. I went out there, man, and the way you get back there is you kind of have to know that it's there, right? And there's a convenience store in the front, and then there's this big old dumpster, and then on the side of it is this like little road. Especially at night, it would be hard to know that road goes so far back, because there's, from what I could tell, there wasn't any lights in that area, and it's a dark area in the back. And I don't think you just find that place by happenstance. It's not just something that you come across. I think that's an area that somebody had to have known. I think that there was some rumors there that this may have had something to do with drugs, and something deal gone wrong. I could see that place where the cars were being a spot where somebody would, hand off drugs, possibly.
It was secluded.
Right. But then again, nowadays, most people just go to their hookups place.
Yeah.
They're not, people aren't typically like, hiding in the alleyways anymore.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, and I found some tire tracks that lead me to believe that the vehicle was traveling at a high rate of speed into that area from the backside, and knew that. I'll show you guys here in a sec. So the medical examiner's office will conduct a death investigation to determine the cause of death and confirmation of the victim's identity. The investigation remains ongoing, a statement said. The speculation appeared to stem from Guerra's history of domestic abuse. Earlier this year, Guerra pleaded guilty to charge of domestic violence causing bodily injury in connection with an assault on Soto on Christmas Day 2022. He was sentenced to a year's probation. Soto's aunt said that she was so badly injured she had to be hospitalized. That's insane. Now, apparently, there was another argument between Savanah and her boyfriend, the night that this incident, or the night that they disappeared. That also is what created a lot more speculation. I think there was a neighbor that came forward and said, I think it was on Facebook. I had seen it on Facebook. So I don't know how true it is, but somebody came forward. It had a picture, had their name. It looked like a real profile, but somebody had came forward and saying that they had seen, Matthew be physical with Soto in the past. So that's one of the reasons why a lot of folks thought this was some kind of domestic issue. Is that what you were thinking before they found the car too, Blue?
Yeah, I was thinking either. So I heard the domestic violence history. I heard that part, and so I was like, man, either it's a MS, or they ran off together. That's what I thought at first until they found the car.
There were some pictures that had, come up, and people were speculating that that was, had something to do or show that it was somewhat drug related. Now I'll show you those pictures here in a second. But before we get into those, I want to read this because this is insane, man, for me to believe. It says the bodies of a pregnant teenager, Savanah Soto, and her boyfriend, Matthew Guerra, have been found according to reports. Give me 1 second. Okay, I need to change that. A search for the couple, two bodies believed to be Soto, 18, and Guerra, 23, were found on the 26th of December. A search for the couple was carried out after the families became alarmed when Soto didn't turn up on Saturday for an appointment to have her labor induced. The couple were found inside of a vehicle in San Antonio. Investigators at the scene partially covered the vehicle with tarps. Many questions remain about the circumstances leading to their disappearance and deaths. Here's what we know so far. When did the pair go missing? Soto was last seen December 22nd at the Basilienta Lofts apartment complex in Leon Valley, in the city, Leon Valley, a city in Bexar County, Texas. The teen lived there with Guerra and the father of her child. According to the family members, she was described by police as 5'1", pregnant female with brown hair and brown eyes. Her family became concerned when she didn't show up for a hospital appointment the following days. She was a week past her due date and scheduled to have an induced labor. The family told local station Kens TV. Her mother, Gloria Cordova, said that she last heard from her daughter on Friday afternoon and got no answer when she knocked on her apartment door on Saturday afternoon. Ms. Cordova added that she also hadn't been able to contact Guerra since her daughter's disappearance. Leon Valley police issued a clear alert on Soto on Monday and later said that the boyfriend went missing too. Soto's family organized a search of the area in her apartment on Christmas night. Savanah was so happy because she was going to be a mommy. It breaks my heart, her mother told Kens TV. Her mom came out on the news here just a little while ago on the local channels here at 6, and it's heartbreaking. I think it was actually her grandmother came out on the news, and she was talking about how because Savannah's brother had lost his life last year in a situation where he was also murdered, having to do with something with THC vapes and cartridges and being set up by some guy who accused Savannah's brother of stealing the vapes cartridges. It's stupid reason to,
Yeah, man, but if people will take a life for any reason, man. And those THC vapes, they're illegal. I mean, there's money there. There's a lot of money in there.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. All right, where were they found? The pair were reportedly found dead on Tuesday, 26th of December, parked in a car in San Antonio, Texas. Someone spotted the car in the parking lot of an apartment complex in San Antonio and alerted the family. Ken's TV report. Relatives called the police. 2 bodies were found in a Kia Optima. Police Chief William McManus told the press conference that the bodies may have been there for 3 to 4 days. Chief McManus didn't identify the bodies pending confirmation by the medical examiner, but said that they were believed to be those of the missing couple. So what does that tell you, Blue? Like, they weren't able to identify the bodies, but they were, able to, that they believe that they were the missing couple.
Yeah, I mean, after a couple of days of sitting in the car, I'm pretty sure it was kind of hot for a couple of days and it got cold. So I'm pretty sure they were probably bloated. And I want to say they can't recognize them. That means something happened to the face. Or they couldn't recognize the faces right away.
I think differently, my man. I think that they were very much possibly identifiable, but I think that they didn't have any identification on them. You know what I'm saying? So they're going to need somebody to identify them because there was no identification. Wasn't a wallet. There wasn't a purse.
Okay. Maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Maybe.
And, I wonder what else may be missing from these victims, possibly their phones. Because here's the thing: if this is drug related and this was some kind of drug deal gone bad, I guarantee the police have somebody in mind. Because if their phone was left there, right? Phone was left there, and they can forensically go through it. They probably got some communication between them and somebody else about something to do with the drugs that night. You know what I mean? If it was that, it was his car. Yes, that's correct. So, I mean, that's kind of where I'm thinking or leading to. So let's continue this, because there's a real big concerning part in this article. So it says the police chief described the scene as very perplexing. Detectives are considering the possibility that Soto and Guerra may have been murdered. Because of the complexity of the complex crime scene, we can't say for sure what we have. Do you think that the gun was still there then? I mean, if it's not there, then you can say that it's probably, murder, because the murder weapon ain't there.
I thought I heard or read that it only found shell casings.
That's what I heard. That's what I heard too. But why would they consider a possible suicide type thing, right? If the weapon wasn't there.
Yeah. The weapon's not there, and I mean, when people do that type of suicide, it's typically a gunpowder residue in their arm. They'll find it right away, and they'll find the weapon either in their hand or somewhere around their body. So if they didn't find that, then that's why they're probably considering a murder.
I've heard a couple of different rumors. The latest one was that it was in pretty close contact. Kind of. I don't know how true they are, but it sounds like it wasn't like a long, far away shot. So if it was somebody that got shot close, I think that gunshot residue is going to be in a lot of places. But that could make it difficult to know as well. You know what I'm saying? Let's continue this.
Yeah, it can be difficult. But the GSR normally, if you're holding it, you'll have it all over your hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Family members of the couple also offered conflicting theories about what have happened, and we got that. I have a couple of videos from TikTok and I think YouTube of some family members on different sides that are saying different things. It's a little bit confusing, and I've been able to confirm that they are related, to the victims. It's just their statements conflict. There's things that don't make sense as far as, what the scene looked like. I don't know about what happened that night. I mean, if their story is being, also being something that is confusing about their night, which we've heard one story that we're going to put out about the father of Matthew. And it seems crazy. Like this whole situation seems crazy. All right, so it says Soto's sister-in-law alleged that she was being abused. I won't allow you to be one of those statistics of what happens when you have an abusive boyfriend, she wrote on social media in a post viewed by the New York Post. Her mother also posted a Facebook, I'm worried about her safety. She is with her boyfriend who is no good. But according to the New York Post, Guerra's mother wrote on social media, if anyone knows where my son, Matthew Guerra, he and his pregnant girlfriend are missing, I know my son and he wouldn't do anything to hurt her. I mean, he had though, right?
Yeah, the domestic violence charges.
It's not the first time that tragedy has struck the Soto family. In 2022, Savannah's 15-year-old brother, Ethan Soto, was shot and his life was taken. It's hard. It's like one after another. Gloria Cordova told Ken's 5. It still hurts because what I tell my kids, I'm not complete. I'm not complete. And now I don't have my daughter, she said. There was something that I wanted to bring up because I thought it was in here. Maybe I passed it. And I didn't read it. But on here, I could have sworn it said that the neighbors heard yelling and screaming from the apartment complex, including help me, the night that she disappeared, and the neighbors didn't call 911. They never called 911. I need to find that. I know I saw it somewhere. I mean, it's probably one of the other articles that I have. Let me remember this real quick.
Yeah, I know you sent a few that I went through.
Yeah, what do you think about that, man? You know, you hear that this is an apartment complex, right? So this is not like a house separated by another house. You know, they lived on the top floor. So, you know, it sounds like they were taken by force out of this house. You know, if she is screaming, help me, and yelling, and neighbors are hearing them, you know, the neighbors are a wall away and also just the floor underneath, you know, kind of reminds me of like Dylan. And she didn't hear these type of noises according to the audio that's out, right? We can say that, you know, help me or those type of screams weren't out in the Idaho case because the audio, the PCA says that the audio that was picked up was the dog barking and the thud and the whimpering and not any screams, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, does that kind of...
I mean, I lived in apartments before, you know, and it just depends on the type of neighbor you are, you know. If you hear it and somebody said help, and you know, I actually called the police for somebody when I heard help, but none of my other neighbors even bothered opening their door to see what's going on, you know.
Yeah.
So it just depends on, but some people are heavy sleepers and they don't hear anything.
Yeah, but I mean,
you know, it's one of those things where, like, I had a neighbor that was like a every Friday, Saturday kind of thing. It was arguments and throwing stuff and slamming things, and that's all you heard every Friday, Saturday.
So you think that the neighbors may have like been numb to hearing this kind of stuff?
It could be. I mean, I know for a while I was when I lived at a place because people upstairs, you know, even though I think we personally called the cops like twice, the lady kept coming back, and it was just, you know, a rumble every time.
That's insane, man. That's insane. So I found a couple of different articles that say it. All right, so it says, hold on. They heard screams before she entered into the boyfriend's car. You know, what do you think about that, Blue?
I mean, I don't know if they were, you know, there's some people, like I said, won't do anything, and there's some people that will. And maybe that neighbor thought about it, but it's like, all right, they're in their car and they're gone. Where do I know where they're going? Kind of deal. But
do you think that those people should be in trouble for anything?
I don't think they can be. I mean, all they can say was I heard somebody scream, but and I saw a lady get into a car, but was she at gunpoint or knife point? And if they can't say yes or no, then maybe she screamed because she was having pains from the pregnancy. You know, they don't know the situation.
Well, I think one of the screams was help me.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
don't know.
you know,
I don't
the
know if
thing is
you.
like, go ahead.
I said I don't know if you ever been to to the south side in those apartments before, man. You hear it sometimes where they're just fighting and arguing, and then police come, and then they already know which apartment to go to.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Thank you,
it's a
Gail,
sad
for your.
situation.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. Thank you, Gail, for your gifted drunk turkey membership. We appreciate that.
Thank you, Gail.
All right. Yeah, I mean it's just it's sad. You know what I'm saying? So let's look at some of these videos and then we'll discuss these. Well, you know what? First, this is where Savanah and her boyfriend were residing at. Right here, it says their home. It's going to be in the top floor on this side. I was able to get back. Can't see, but I was able to get back in here and get a pretty good glimpse of this back area. And this is where the car was found. So it's about a couple of miles away. And I'll show you guys. So when you're pulling up in the street, it was way back there.
Oh,
Right.
wow.
Yeah. And, you know, to get back there, you have this long road as well, right? You know, this is the apartment complex. This is this is all connected. These apartments back here are part of this complex. The only way to get back there on that side is if you go down, you know, that alleyway there or this way. There isn't any other way to get back to that area.
Well, maybe one of those, like convenience store, might have some cameras that will show.
It has one there. I hope it does. I mean, I hope it has more, you know, facing the exterior. I'm going to go back out there again and go to the store. What are you doing tomorrow, Blue?
I work tonight, and then I'll just be here.
Maybe tomorrow we can go to this store, buy a couple of things, maybe look around, see if there's any surveillance, see if anything got picked up or not picked up.
And sometimes, depending on the apartments, if they're facing the street, some of them have Ring cameras.
Yeah.
I know, because at my girlfriend's apartments, she's got a Ring camera because there was one night, there was this guy just trying to break into apartments one night, man. He was just trying doorknobs and he was like kicking the neighbor's door. And he wasn't he wasn't part of the apartments there.
No. So this is the area where they were found. So wait, what, Blue? They kicked him out of the apartments? Why? He didn't belong there?
No. He was just like kicking doors, like it was like they felt a little loose. He was trying to break into them.
Yeah, dude. People do some crazy stuff. Like, let's see what the chief has to say.
Perplexing crime scene. And detectives right now are looking at this as a possible murder, and but we don't know for sure. So again, because of the complexity, the complex crime scene, we can't say for sure what we have. There are two people in the car. Are they dead? They are deceased. and we believe that it is the missing woman and her boyfriend, but we can't confirm that right now officially until the medical examiner takes a look at the bodies and makes that determination as to their identity.
That was Chief William McManus.
Yep. San Antonio Chief. Good man. All right. So let's look at a couple of pictures first, actually. So this is the couple. You have Matthew in the back, Savanah up front. They've been together since she was 15. She was 18, so about 3 years. And this picture here is why a lot of folks were thinking that maybe perhaps he was involved in some sort of drunk activity because of, the money that he has to his face.
It wasn't the Edgar cut.
It was, maybe.
That's the haircut's what they call the Edgar cut, the Marbach cut. It's from the ghetto side of town. That's what they call it.
Yeah. So this is the car they found. They have it covered back here. There was a rumor that one of them was in the trunk. I think that's been debunked or been not true. But I think one of them was in the front seat and one of them was in the back seat, which would make sense why they're covering up this back area, especially if there was, splatter. I'm not even sure that this occurred in the vehicle. I mean, that doesn't look very tinted to me. And if somebody got shot in the front here, in the front seat, I feel like you'd be able to see some splatter there. What do you think?
Yeah, you would probably see it on the other door. If it had to be some residue.
I don't think,
maybe there's some on the back window.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't think this happened here. Because I don't remember, I couldn't find, at least, a report of shots fired in this area around that time. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I haven't heard anything.
And it's in a neighborhood, like it's in a close-knit neighborhood. Now, it is kind of, to me, I think it's somebody from the area. I think it's somebody that lives pretty close. Because to know that area and to get back there, they've been there before. You know what I'm saying? Now, whether it was they did some drug deals back there, like I said before, or maybe they resided in the complex at one time, or live in the neighborhood nearby and just have visited that convenience store in the past and knew about that secluded area in the back. GF says that Savanah was found in the front and her boyfriend was in the backseat. Yeah, we've heard that as well. I've heard it the other way around as well. I don't know which one it is yet, but we're going to, talk about those things. And I have some videos from the searchers that found the vehicle, and they describe what they have seen as well. But do you think, Blue, that it's possible that this crime was committed somewhere else and the vehicle was just dumped here?
It can be. Yeah, I mean, if nobody heard the gunshot wounds, because you'd hear them in that neighborhood. The house is right next to the apartment's right next to. I think they knew that there was the trash cans were there, and nobody really would even find it for a couple of days, and then they just went and dumped it, or they lived by there.
So this is where the vehicle was at. I don't like where these cops are standing, to be honest with you, but I'll show you why here in a little bit. But these are the officers. This was an image taken from up top. All right, so this is where they get the car seat stuff. Does that look like a car seat to you in the front seat right there?
I don't know. It looks like somebody slumped over. It's a San Antonio fire department.
Well, yeah, there's that person. Maybe they are slumped over. Because what was said was that the that Savanah had her car seat on her lap. Yeah, we have that video. We're going to be pulling those up here in a minute. You want to not pull those up yet, Blue? We're going to go through that here in a second. So this is the apartment complex. This is where this occurred. I wish I could zoom in on this. Or this is where they were at last seen at. They were in the top floor. And this is the route to get to that area. All right, so about to get on, was that Grissom?
Yeah.
You do have
those are the new apartments, right? The newer ones, the nicer ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you get on to Bandera. So this is the route. If they went directly straight to that apartment complex from that house, this is the fastest route to get there. Now, this area here has a lot of traffic cameras. Right there, I just passed two. And right here, watch. Let me back that up real quick.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple of mailers from that part of town. They have if you run the red lights, they have the red light cameras.
It's right there. That you see where that red truck is, pulling out of that area there, right there. That sign says that those are traffic cameras that will ticket you. These will give you a citation if you run through them, things like that. So these are constantly going. So if this guy drove through there, or they saw this car going through here at this time of night, one, if he's by himself, what does that tell you? If it's one person,
Is that they were just dumping the car out there?
Well, if it's one person, that tells me that, if they took the bodies there and they left the car there, they left on foot.
Yeah.
The car's there. So they must not be that far away. Now, if it was more than one person, there could be somebody following them. You know what I mean? And at that point is where you might be able to get a license plate or something like that. But there is definitely some traffic cameras there. And I can assure you that the San Antonio Police Department probably have gone through them already and are piling up some evidence against whoever this person could be. So then you're going to take a left here on Seneca. Now, you guys might think that there's a lot of traffic there, but there's no school. So, I went around 3:30, so it would be a lot more trafficy during school time. But this was in the early morning hours, so there would be no traffic. Is that correct, Blue?
Yeah, there'd be a lot of traffic. It normally takes you like 20 minutes just to get through that little 2-block area. There's traffic.
Yeah. So you go through this neighborhood, a lot of stop signs. Right, like this isn't in my opinion, a well-known traveled area. You know what I mean? Like, I don't see people just driving through here to just drive through here. What do you think, Blue?
Yeah, because I go to that area only because I go to the park down the street on Raymond Runckus. And then I can use that shortcut to get to Evers because I try to get to the Sam's or medical center.
Yeah, but look at how deep in the neighborhood I am. And having to go through to get there. Like I felt like here, and they had to have known this place.
Yeah. See, my theory is that maybe they were with somebody they knew, and maybe they went to go pick something up, and they went south.
See, I already passed it. This is the actual complex right here, and I had a time finding that area. I drove up and down this area. I couldn't even find it. Let me back up a little bit, and I'll show you where it's at.
Yeah, because even though there's like older apartments, I mean that neighborhood, those houses are 300,000.
So
They're older
right here,
houses, $200,000-$300,000 houses.
oh yeah, this neighborhood behind this complex looked pretty nice.
Yeah.
The neighborhood in front, not as nice as the one in the back. Here, this is the gas station, convenience store. Not a gas station. I don't think there was gas pumps. This was the convenience store where this truck is pulling into. So I mean, I'm just passing by. I don't even know that there's an alleyway there. It doesn't catch my eyes. There's a dumpster there. Like it's hard to see. And I end up stopping the camera here because, I didn't want somebody to think I was being weird, just kind of driving around recording things, even though it was on a deal there. But this is me leaving the area. I actually saw it on the way out of here, and I had to drive by a couple of times. But this is where it's at, this convenience store, and I'm actually going to turn down here. I think I stopped. I did a U-turn and I came back around. And when I came back around, that's when I saw it over here. And this is where I pulled into it. The roads are really bad here.
Yeah, so it's an older complex, you can tell. But
yeah, that building back there is the one that I saw from the pictures.
it's another complex, but I guarantee you a 2-bedroom in that neighborhood's $1,200 to $1,500.
Maybe.
No, they are.
So this is
expensive in Leon Valley.
Oh man, I had to mute the whole time. I was saying stuff through here. I was like, I thought I said some stuff through here. You knew about this area? Lived in this area? Let me rewind that. All right, I found it. It took me a second to get out here. It was actually behind this gas station, so it's even more secluded and hidden off than I thought it was. Somebody either was very familiar with this area, knew about this area, lived in this area. Looks like we got some film crew already out here. Thank you, Gail, for your $10 super sticker. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Gail. And thank you, Jennifer, for becoming a new member.
So here we are. This is around the area where the vehicle was found. I remember seeing that house in the background of the pictures. I believe it was parked right around right here. Look at that. You see that, Blue?
Yeah.
In the middle of the screen there? What does that look like to you?
Some hard braking.
Exactly. Somebody came in hot and parked here quick. That's another thing that tells me that one, that there was panic here, right? Somebody came quick, braked hard. Do you think that was the victims running away from somebody, or do you think that was the person that committed this crime trying to get out of the car as fast as possible and park it?
Yeah, I think it could have been somebody trying to park it, because it would have been them getting away from somebody. They would have hit the tree, they would hit the fence, just trying to get out of there, backing it up into something.
Right. And look at how close. These are houses back here over this fence.
Yeah.
You know, something was shot here. These houses would have definitely heard it if there was a gunfire here. These apartment complexes would have heard it. And you can tell, like, when we looked at that picture from above.
Well, I would say that might be the tow truck hauling it away, man. They drag them out.
Maybe.
That's what I'm thinking now.
But wait, well, why isn't the other one doing it?
I don't know.
And I think you would have seen more of the skid marks back here. Yeah, you would have seen it be black.
Yeah.
You see it here. And to me, it looks like the disturbance is going this way, going down and towards me. Meaning that I think that the vehicle was going forward. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah, it looks like the dirt is going this way.
And
if they had the keys, they'd just pop it in neutral and it wouldn't need us, drag it.
Yeah. And it's hard to tell here. I'm going to go back out there and get some more pictures, see if that's still there. But it kind of came off this angle towards the back of the complex. So this vehicle, in my opinion, came obviously around. It's not even parked correctly. So whoever did it very quickly. Like, they didn't care. They just went in there and they parked it and got out. The question is, was there another vehicle behind them? Or did he take off on foot?
Yeah. I mean, either somebody picked them up or he knows the area. They could have just walked up to the convenience store and got picked up somewhere. They might need to be watching some camera footage from the convenience store.
Yeah.
From the last 2 days,
That direction.
3 days, and see what came in and out of there.
For somebody to get back here, in my opinion, they have to know this area very well. This is somebody familiar with this area. You have to. I'll just talk over what I was saying. In my opinion, like I said, even here, I mean, I just felt like they had to have known this area. I mean, from the street, you would probably think that it just kind of loops around the building. You don't really think it would loop that far. You know what I mean? And like I said, it was real complicated getting here, as you guys saw. So it wasn't like a street that I think a lot of people are driving through and that they're going to find. And this is the, where the complex is. If you put your GPS for this address, it takes you right here to this point.
Yeah, to the main office. The mailboxes.
All right, so I got somebody saying, can we see the overhead picture again? Yeah. So overhead picture. You can see right here where the line is, this direction, where the parking line is. And then you see the vehicle. There's one tire here and the other tire. And you can see that they're going away from this line. And so when we get to that part of the video.
Yeah, cause it's not even parked like in the space, right? Like.
Right. You see, there's the line there up here. And here's where it's not aligning with the same line. Like those cars are facing, going like if they were coming in this direction towards where I'm standing at. And the way this vehicle parked was as if it was going the opposite direction that it should have been traveling in. Right. So you have it coming this way.
Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, it does say that there's three victims, and one was unborn.
Yeah.
The unborn child. So she was still with the child.
Yeah. Yeah, she definitely was. It's horrible, man. So this is some of the stuff that has come out. This is from The Searcher.
Allegedly, he was in the front seat and she was in the trunk. That's what we were told. Another searcher found the car and called the family.
Oops, wrong button.
Don't know if the baby was found the car and called the family, alerted the family. We don't know if the baby was still in her belly. I'm presuming she was, but we don't know for sure. She was 3 exits down the highway, about 15 minutes from her apartment, in an apartment complex that we have no idea why she was there. No, the windows were not shut out. I don't know if they were handcuffed. I do not believe so. I'm not on the side of anybody. I am a nonprofit search and rescue group that helps all families. So yes, supposedly, allegedly, Savannah.
And this was posted by Savanah Soto's Facebook. So this is not just, out there on the TikTok. I went to Savanah Soto's Facebook, her personal Facebook, which is being, I guess, taken over by the family who are posting things and putting things out there. That's why it says Savanah Soto at the bottom of the screen right here. So just an FYI.
And I was the only one in the trunk, and Matthew was in the front driver's seat. I don't know if the cousin's lying or not. I haven't seen any of the video on the cousin. If anybody screen recorded it and would like to send it to me, I'll watch it and see what happens. Someone could have been after him. I didn't see any gunshot shell casings. I didn't see any gun holes in the car. I didn't see the windows blown out. We saw them take Matthew out, but when they took him out, he was already covered and everything.
She says she saw Matthew being taken out, but he was already covered and everything, so they couldn't see him. She said that Matthew was in the front seat. I've heard things that Matthew was in the back seat.
In October at the mall, right?
Hold on. Before I get to this one,
They were both together.
This is the one I want to talk, because this is his cousin. This is Matthew's cousin talking about this, what she knows.
They were both together whenever they passed. We have no details. They don't want to give us no details. They did let us know that there was shell casings in the car, and that my cousin's injuries were very gruesome. This is a very, very hard pill to swallow. Just seeing the pain in my aunt's eyes. Even seeing the pain of Savannah's family just hurt me so much. And honestly, I just hope that all of us could just come and all come together, because at the end of the day, we both lost family members, and she was a family member.
If I'm putting on the music in the background because I can hear music from this TikTok, and what ended up happening is this part ended up getting cut out, and I don't want it to be cut out. So I put the music on very low to kind of offset the music that's coming out of this TikTok.
And
I thought it was my kids. I was like, man,
it's ugly. It's ugly.
Nah, it was this.
I honestly feel like they got set up. Because nothing's making sense to me. The way they left him in the back seat. They left him in the back seat, laid out with his pants off. It was gruesome. They just said it was gruesome. He was not in the front seat. He was in the back seat. My cousin's very, very, very tall. Savannah was in the front passenger seat, and she had the car seat on top of her. My cousin was in the back seat, laid out with his pants off. They said that he basically was tortured. They didn't really want to get into details because they haven't moved the body. They're waiting for the medical examiners to get there so that they can start moving the bodies, seeing what's going on and all that stuff. But yeah, they.
And that was the end of that. It was just a screen record. And this was the cousin of Matthew. So a little bit of conflicting stories. You have the searcher saying that basically Matthew was in the front, she was in the back, and that they saw that a police take Matthew out of the car. Yeah, Matthew's family member saying that it was the other way around. He was in the car with his pants down or off, and he'd been tortured. She was in the front seat with the child safety chair in her lap, the car seat. All right, let's try to digest that and kind of think of like, how does that make sense and why would those things be there? So let's start off with the car seat in the front. You know, if they had a car seat in the back and they had him tied up or tortured or something in the back seat, laid out, then they would need to move the car seat to somewhere else. I don't see why you don't just throw it out the car. You know what I mean? Wherever you're at.
Yeah. Yeah, maybe they just used it like, maybe they threw it up front and she was already deceased, so maybe it just, all right, it covers her. But like, I feel like this happened somewhere else, and this was dumped like a body dump site. You know,
Yeah, I agree
somewhere
with you.
where nobody really looks at it. But if you're gonna do that, you park the car facing the right way, and I don't know, that place. I mean, I could see why they would probably dump it in that kind of apartment complex. They don't know that they have a towing enforced kind of apartment complex. Other complexes, if you don't have the sticker permit for that complex, your car is gonna get towed.
Yeah. Yeah. And see, look, here's another post from another relative of Matthew's. Celia Rod says they're both tied up. He's in the front seat and she's in the back. Kind of what like the searcher said, except the tied up part. The searcher didn't say that, but he, according to that he's in the front seat, she's in the back. It doesn't say which front seat either. Is he driving?
And it sucks because it's to me it's sounding like it's a if it is torture, if it is not, that it has to do with drugs or money. And
But then
his presentation with a big stack like that, man, looks like it's drugs.
Right.
And those guys are ruthless. Something goes wrong, they don't just come for you; they come for your family.
Yeah. This is another post before their bodies were discovered from Celia Rodriguez, or Rod. I'm assuming it's Rodriguez. Facebook fam and friends. This is my little cousin Matthew and baby mama. They went missing yesterday. She was scheduled to be induced. We need them to check into the hospital ASAP. If anyone knows anything, please let me know. I got I'm guessing it says reward. So you have a little bit of conflicting stories there from different relatives from Matthew. Now, if he's in the front seat and she's in the back seat, that means that, why would you do that? Why would you drive with one in the front seat if this was done somewhere else? Why would you have one of them in the front with you? That's pretty sadistic. What do you think, Blue? I know you're just staring at me.
No, I was reading the comments. I mean, yeah, I mean, either they were trying to get some information out of him if it was a torture. And like I said, one way is to threaten her life, but maybe they had already done that and he didn't talk and they moved on to him and she was already passed away by then, if it is that kind kind of situation. People are ruthless. That's why. Just I don't know if you keep up with the local news, but every couple weeks they've been finding, people laying out in fields with gunshot wounds.
Yeah.
It's been more than probably in the last month 2 or 3 times already. Since we're on a border, we're in one of the what do they call it, hubs? One of the hubs where the stuff comes in, stuff goes out, and people get involved in that to make easy money. And a couple of mistakes, you see the wrong thing, you did the wrong thing, you lost some product, got busted. Or rival gangs trying to take over something. Yeah, that's sad.
Yeah, it's a dangerous game. And it's when it comes to this case too, like there's all that speculation of was it drug related, was it not? That's kind of like one of the reasons why we didn't cover the case too quickly, because we don't want to do any kind of victim shaming, and I don't want people to think that if we feel that think that this is a drug related type of deal that we're shaming the victims. I don't think we are. But I do think that may have played a role. What about you? I mean, that's what you think as well, right?
I think it played a role. And the sad part about it is, the young lady lost her life, and so did a innocent little baby child, little baby boy, little Fabian.
Before I play that, I want to play this because I know you're going to be leaving here pretty soon. But I wanted you to hear this. I'll put this at 1.25 speed. I believe this is from like Grizzy Hood News. They were out at the location. I'll turn this up. Yeah. This is the house. All right. You see some marks right here on the door. I see some weather stripping, that's pulled out of the door. That looks like a kick, and that looks like somebody forcibly made them so, or got into the house. Perhaps they were trying to put something between the door frame and the doorknob to break into it, and then when they couldn't, they kicked it. What do you think?
Yeah, that's like the weather stripping was pulled out.
Right.
Like they were trying to stick, maybe
like a credit card or something.
Credit card or a knife,
screwdriver. Yeah. So that's the first thing that I noticed when I looked at that. I'll
shoot a video real quick at this door.
Hold on. I saw something else.
I'll shoot a video real quick.
I thought I saw like a big scratch to the right here, right on the edge of this frame.
So, yeah, they've been in there. So, this is an update, Christmas, from me talking to the family on Saturday, and I'm getting a better timeline. They're saying about 8 o'clock, 11 o'clock, they were last seen here, and between I think the family, the mother and them came here around a little bit afterwards, and at 1 o'clock they locked the door to the apartment. When they were there, there was guns and there was money and there was weed in the apartment. From what is being brought to light is that allegedly, and we'll just say allegedly, right? His father, Matthew's father, came, and I'm fixing to get the ring camera footage, but there was heard that the door was kicked down, the door was kicked in 3 times. It also was confirmed by the police, because here at this complex, there's a San Leon police officer that stays right next to the Valencia apartments, which is that's a different complex on the back of us. So the white truck is a Leon Valley police officer. So the timeline is 11 o'clock they were seen. 11, 12 o'clock, the mother and them came. They locked the door at 1 o'clock, assuming, well, they might have went and got them a place or went to do something because they were going to have a baby that evening and didn't think much of it. They locked the door behind them. And then between the next time that the police came, which was a 5-hour span, so that would put the timeline between 1 and 6. And by the time the police got in there, it was 7 o'clock. Saying that the father came and kicked the door in and took the money, took the weed and the guns from inside. So this is just unraveling now. I have the family members here. I got other family members on the way that are going to come do a search, and this is her family on her side. So still here trying to find stuff out, and there's some stuff unraveling. I just got off the phone with the father. Had one of the police guys on the, not the investigator, but he had the police on the phone following a clear alert or something like that. So I got to look into that and figure out what that's all about. But we're still here.
So it sounds like he said that Matthew's father kicked the door in. Well, it sounds like there was a disturbance there earlier on in the day. Some arguing. Family shows up. They lock up while they were there. They see marijuana. They see a couple of guns and money, right? He ends up, there's a video camera on a ring, apparently. And this guy's trying to get to it, where Matthew's father goes and kicks the door in and, takes the weed, the money, and the guns.
Yeah. Because if the cops are going to come search the house, that's the first thing.
Do you think he was trying to protect his son?
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It depends. It's a possibility. Or he was trying to. If he had access to it and they weren't there, I don't know. I think he was just trying to protect, hide it because he knew somebody was going to come search the house.
Well, this is before they're reported missing, ain't it? This is between 1 and 6 in the morning. So how would he know that his son was in trouble, that he needed protecting during that time?
I don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some don't add up, man. Some not adding up right there. So that tells me that either maybe something did happen, and he called his dad and said he's in trouble somehow, some way, told him to get the stuff out there, and he gets in some real trouble afterwards, and this is before his life is taken, and he's going there to go get it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I said those apartments are not the cheap ones, man. They're the ones by the elementary school. Yeah. Those are like $1,800 a month just for a little 2-bedroom.
Oh yeah, dude, this is a very nice complex, man. I was out there today, and it's a very nice complex.
Like $2,400 for a 3-bedroom kind of place.
Yeah. But to me, it just seems like that seems weird. How did he know that there was something to protect, if that's the reason why he did it? He was on probation, so he wasn't supposed to have guns. Maybe perhaps he went out there thinking that somebody's going to call the police because his son was in an altercation with his girlfriend who's pregnant, and I don't know, man.
Yeah, it could go either way. Maybe he knew something about it, or maybe he knew if they did do a search of the house trying to find them, that I don't know. They would have to look at the dad's phone and messages, see what time if the son called, or the son said anything.
Yeah. All right, real quick. This is if you got to go, you got to go. But this is a 1-minute thing, real quick. from somebody who was gaining some suspicion of being involved in this case. This is somebody whose boyfriend apparently had some sort of issue with Savanah Soto's boyfriend, Matthew. And in fact, this lady here claims that she was going to get into a altercation with Savanah, but she was pregnant. And so she left it at that. So let's hear her explanation of what she had posted, because she said the term, she was pregnant, and that karma and a bunch of other things. And this is before the bodies were found and stuff like that. So some suspicious things that she was saying, and she was trying to clarify herself.
A few days later, like 2 days in October. A few days later, like
muting it. Hold on.
In October at the mall, right? A few days later, like 2 days later, after that happened, my baby daddy and them, his homeboys said that they seen her and him at the nail salon, which was right down the street. So I had went to go see what's up, like, because I thought my baby daddy and her baby daddy were gonna fight, and if she wanted to fight too, like, I didn't know she was pregnant though. So then boom, I went to the nail salon, walked in there, not in there, but I opened the door. Boom. I had said what's up, and then I realized she was pregnant. So then I just left it there, left it as that. But whenever I posted what I posted, which was this, I had posted this. And karma, bitch, my baby daddy done bitch this nigga out, and she shorty didn't want to smoke with me. When I said karma's a bitch, I wasn't meaning towards her kidnap. I was talking about like with her baby daddy, but I guess y'all can't take it that way. But no, I did not mean it like, oh, I wanted her to get kidnapped or no anything. No, fuck no.
So she goes kidnapped, and she gets kidnapped, or she goes missing, I'm sorry. And this girl posts something about, karma a bitch, and that her dude was talking smack to his dude or something like that. I think that's what she said. What do you think about that, Blue? Does that seem suspicious to you?
I mean, it seems suspicious. It looks like she pointed a finger at suspect number one.
Right?
Like, we gotta check this guy out too. I mean, like I said, when you're in, to me, it seems like he's in that field of passing out, stuff around the corner sometimes. I don't know what kind of work he did, if he actually did an actual job. But you make a lot of enemies.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of enemies.
That is true. Jealousy and envy also is a huge component to some of the negativity that a person will get. And in this game here, if somebody is, got something that others want, those that want it aren't typically, the most law-abiding citizens. You know what I mean? They're the ones that want what they have are the ones that are willing to take it. You know what I mean?
I mean, I've been at a barbershop here before, and two guys come in, they were beefing with each other, and the guy's like, he had asked one to leave, and he was pissed, man. He was like flashing his gun, like, I'm just here for my cut, and it's like, I promise I'm not gonna do it. And like, dude, both of you have guns. It's why did I come to this barbershop?
Yeah, man. I hear you on that one. I'm gonna finish this. I don't know if you got to go already.
Yeah, I do. Y'all take care.
See you next time, Blue.
We'll talk about this case a bit more. It's interesting, and it's local. It happens, and it's part of one of the things that San Antonio deals with in a day-to-day basis. Except for this time, there was a tragic, child caught in the middle.
Yeah,
a young lady caught in the middle. But I mean, unfortunately, that since we're a hub for that, there's people pop up left and right lately.
Yeah,
and it's pretty crazy. And it's just gonna get worse. It's gonna get worse.
Yeah, no, it's true, man. It's what is it? The dawn is darkest before the day, or something like that. Isn't that what the Batman says? So,
and I don't mean it just by that. Like, okay, one of the reasons why I said that, and I'll tell you why, is because we do have another, and we'll probably talk about it another day, but we do have a lot of people crossing the border right now from some southern countries. The reason they're fleeing is because the gangs are out of control, and half the people that are coming over here are scared of their lives because they're being threatened to get killed because they either don't want to join their gang or they're in a rival gang.
That's true, and that's a big problem here.
And we're letting them in, and I'm not saying one of them caused this, but there's more ruthless gangsters in other countries than we have here. Because here, you murder somebody, they're gonna start looking for you. Over there, the police won't touch certain people if they murder people because they're above the law over there, and they're coming over here thinking they can do the same thing sometimes. So we just gotta be careful, man.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, with the border security type of thing, there has been a lot more of these upper echelon gang members from, some of these cartels and, drug gangs from across the border have made it into the United States. I mean, we hear it all the time that they're up there. I mean, even they're blaming it in Idaho, but we've seen situations where they're in Washington State. They're in, across the entire United States. I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I mean, just last month, what they had, I think, over apprehension of 10 plus that were on the terrorist watch list that got picked up at the border trying to cross, so
yeah,
we got a lot of stuff we got to work on. I got to go to work. I'll take care.
See you later, Big Boo. I'm gonna finish this up. It'll be a few more minutes. See you later, Big Boo. You have a good night.
Then the next thing I posted was this. Wouldn't give a fuck if somebody got a problem with what I said. In the day, to some straight bitches. All right, boom. And don't stand on no type of business. Yo, you was pregnant. When I said you was pregnant, like I said, this happened back in October. That's what I was talking about. And why your baby daddy? And because her baby daddy left her there at the nail salon when I had walked in there, and I was about to fight her, but I didn't because, like I said, she was pregnant. In October.
So she's saying that there was an altercation back in October where she was gonna fight Savanah Soto, and her baby daddy was gonna fight Matthew. And apparently Matthew left her at the nail salon, and she didn't fight her because she was pregnant. But she had some interesting stuff to say. I mean, if somebody goes missing, I'm not sure, karma is a bitch is the first thing, you're talking about, unless you're happy that they're gone. You know what I mean? All right, let's see. All right, let's put this one up. This is from more details emerged from the family members, one of the victims. I got it muted.
Been doing theories and stuff about Savanah. So basically today around 3 or 4.
I gotta put up the music because they have music on there. Give me a sec.
My mother-in-law had left and she went to go see her friend. And this is her friend that found everything. Her friend said that the car has been there for 4 days whenever Savanah went missing, and the car was there, and she went to go walk her dog, and today, and all of a sudden the car smelled really bad, and the dog picked up the smell, and my godmom went to go, my mother-in-law went to go check it out. She found the car, but the license didn't match up, and that's when me and my girlfriend were like, doesn't make sense. So then
we informed our cousins, and our cousin reported it.
Yeah, they reported. The cops came out. We went back. Her whole family was there. We still didn't know what happened, if it was actually them, and then they confirmed that it was them. We
found out that the boyfriend was also
the boyfriend's a part of our family. They ended up telling us that they were both deceased, and that supposedly the chief had said that they didn't know if she was still pregnant or not. They were both tied up. He was in the front, she was in the back. Supposedly she was holding a car seat. We don't know about that yet.
There's a lot going on. Then he was also in a gang. We don't.
Yeah, it's probably more than one person. Probably more people that killed them, but we're not sure. We'll probably find out by today or tomorrow what happened to them. We'll probably keep it updated about what happened. So.
Yeah, that's horrifying, to be honest with you. I mean, is this another family member coming out saying that, tied up in the back? I mean, the Chief McManus, he did say that this was a perplexing case, and the thing is, I go back to their indecision to say that this wasn't a murder-suicide early on. There had to be something that at least told them that that was a possibility. And if you find a scene where people are tied up and there's no weapon, I don't see how that's a possibility at all. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So I don't know. There's some conflicting things that are going on. The police could be lying about those things, as far as not being able to know or tell. And they're hoping that somebody comes forward, or when they do find the right killer, that maybe they can supply the details of the interior of the vehicle, of what it looked like. And that way they're not looking at a false confession. So, that's possible. And we've seen that happen in the Idaho case where, details have been left out or exaggerated or even, for instance, like in the timeline, it was off on purpose because they wanted those details to be given by the person that they suspected to be the person involved in that case. But yeah, there's some different stuff. Different story on front and back. Yeah, that's true too. But I think what might be happening here is I think that maybe perhaps one family member was told something by the police department and then spread the word to other family members. And then those family members spread the word to other family members and so on and so on. And now that it's getting to like the fifth or sixth cousins, the story might have gotten bigger than what it was. You know what I'm saying? So it's, and the details might be off, that's why you're getting somebody saying one's in the trunk, some are tied up, one's in the front, one's in the back. There might be some truth there. You know what I mean? Like perhaps maybe they were restrained. Maybe they had like zip ties or their arms or hands were roped and that was it, not necessarily like bounded. Right. That's a possibility. So, and by the time the story gets on, it's complete bondage and one person in the trunk and tied to a car seat. And so, just take it all with a grain of salt because I'm not sure where their information came from. Obviously, I feel that it came from a family member, but I don't know how many family members deep that information came from. I hope that makes sense. Let's see what else I got here. This is definitely a very, very odd case, and especially like we brought it up before. You had neighbors hearing her screaming and none of them decided to call police. Like I mentioned, the house, they lived in an apartment complex. They didn't live in a house where there was several feet between your wall and the neighbor's wall. Them and the neighbors shared interior walls, right? There were neighbors downstairs below them. They heard screams, didn't call 911. I just bring that up because, a lot of people will look at, like, for instance, Dylan and say, hey, she didn't call 911. She had something to do with it, this, that, and the third. That's not always the case. In fact, I think you'd probably be surprised how more common it is that somebody doesn't call 911 when they see something. Probably happens more often than not, maybe more often than somebody actually calling 911. It is what it is. On this video here, this is the families emotionally arguing after their bodies were found. So this is the Savanah's family and Matthew's family arguing with each other. I don't know why it just comes out on mute every time. I gotta go and unmute it.
Chill the fuck out! Not the fucking time!
That's an uncomfortable situation also for those officers, for those that are saying, why aren't the officers getting involved? Why aren't they doing something to stop this person who's emotionally yelling? There's blame that's going to happen. And, I understand, I think that they probably should have told him to calm down a little bit and got a little bit involved. But I don't think they should have like arrested him or anything like that. But I do think they should have calmed down the situation, not just stand there. But, if they do get involved, that could escalate the situation. You have people that are emotionally tied to this. It could turn into something bigger. And sometimes, I don't know. I think they should have talked to him at the very least. Kind of told him, hey, man, we understand you guys are upset. We're going to do our job. You guys need to keep it calm. If not, you're going to need to leave first and foremost. That's what you're going to tell them. You need to leave and cool down. And if you don't want to leave and you continue to be, a problem here like this, then they're going to have to forcibly take him somewhere else. Jordan, do you think it could be related to her brother? So for those that don't know, her brother was, his life was taken also due to, well, I don't say also, his life was taken because I think he had stolen or taken some THC cartridges from some guy, and that guy was erratic and pissed off, wanted to harm him over it. I believe even Soto's mom had offered to pay for the THC cartridges just so that, the guy would leave him alone. And he ended up going and taking his life for it. I think they set him up by using a girl to set up a meet to buy some stuff. And when he showed up, they ambushed him. So here recently, the Soto family got into a huge fight with him, that guy accused of murdering their son while he was at trial. I'd show it, but last time I showed a fight like that, I got like a community strike, so I can't show that. There was a lot of people involved in that jumped that guy. And I understand their feelings. I'd probably be in their same situation if I was them. Thank you for your super chat. We appreciate you. Let me see. Yeah, I think that one's going to be the last one that I have. Hold on. So I'll show some still frames of this. Let me mute this. So this is the family attacking the brother, or not the brother. They're attacking the person accused of killing her brother. So I can't show too much of that. I know I'll get a community strike. Now I'll go through a couple of questions before we call it a show. If you have any questions about this or what I saw while I was there, like again, I was out at the, I was out on the, boots on the ground. I went out to both locations, both their apartment and where the vehicle was found. Maybe you guys can ask a question that, will jog something that I saw, and perhaps, we can come up with something. Let's see. Yes, please smash that like button if you haven't already and subscribe. We appreciate you. And thank you so much, Heather, for that. Her parents must, yeah. I mean, I first heard about this case a few days ago, and I struggled to talk about it just because, I have an infant, I have a newborn. Well, she's not a newborn. She's about 7 months now. And I couldn't imagine something. Let's see. What did I see? So what I saw was that, let me pull up the maps here real quick. So here's what I saw. I found the area in which, where the car was found, and it was behind this food mart way back there. I also saw that it was like, to me, it felt like you had to know this area and have been there before. I'm going to go back out there probably tomorrow, maybe the next day, go see if I can find any cameras in this area. I'm going to go back and check, maybe canvas the drive again, and see if I find any houses with surveillance as well. And maybe I'll talk to a couple of people, see if they've been able to have seen, or they saw anything, or if they've been talked to about their surveillance. Yeah. Do some JLR stuff. You know what I'm saying? This is like literally in my backyard. Like it's like 25, 30 minutes away from my house. So I am definitely going to be invested in this one. So what I also saw was like the path to get here. And I would recommend, if you didn't see it, I did post up the video earlier. I'll probably post it up after the show, just the route taken by itself without any talk. That way you can just see how long it took. Well, it sped up. It took me like 12 minutes to get there, but I went around 3 o'clock in the afternoon, closer to 4. And during that time, traffic can get kind of crazy. So it took me a little bit longer than it normally would. I assume at around, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in the morning, before Christmas. I'm assuming that traffic's probably not as bad as 4 o'clock in the afternoon. And they're probably getting there within, I don't know, few minutes, maybe 10, 11, 7, somewhere around there. Let's see. I would hope they have one camera that I saw. I'm going to go back and look at another one. I was kind of not really in a rush, but I had to come back and put this together. And the thing was, it took me a while to find it. So I went to the apartment complex, and this is the other thing that I say. I think the reason why you need to be familiar with this area. So I went to the apartment complex. This is the entrance, and there are a lot of apartments. There's a lot of apartment buildings. So I was driving through them, couldn't find it for the longest time, and then when I was leaving is when it caught my eye, but I'd already been out there for quite a bit. I had to get back. Or else the show was going to be later than what it was. Way back there. Yeah, and if you're doing this at night, there's no way that this guy's just driving around randomly looking for a place to dump the car. You know what I'm saying? I don't see that's possible. I don't think he's going to drive by like to get here. You're in neighborhoods. You're driving through. There's nowhere. I don't understand the thought there. And unless the plan was to disclose the body back here, a place you're familiar with, where this person probably thinks there's not cameras around, and it's secluded, it's dark, nobody ever goes back there. I find it very difficult, somebody driving around here at night that's going to see that back there. I'm going to tell Big Blue on his break to run out there. If he's out there like at around 1 or 2 in the morning to see if this store closes down, I'm going to check out what time this store closes. See, here's one camera. It's right there on that pillar by the door, but it's facing the door. I can't tell if this is a camera or not, but it looks like if it is, it's facing the parking lot, which could be good because this vehicle would have had to have driven down this alleyway to have made the marking that I had seen in the road where the vehicle was parked. Interesting stuff. I seriously don't understand how it can be expected for us to show no emotion. I have a huge support crew that will be coming with me, if nothing more than to hold me back. I pray for him now, but I don't know. I'm not sure what you're talking about. You don't call police if you know what will happen, because people are, that's true too. The neighbors may be aware that this guy is affiliated, right? And they don't want to call the police on him because they're afraid of the retaliation that he may do onto them. They know where they live, probably, if they have family members and stuff like that. I think they could be scared to have called 911 in this situation. That's true. And also, people involved aren't going to talk either. You know what I mean? Like, if this was something that came out of other criminal activity, it's going to be difficult for witnesses who were involved in said criminal activity to come forward and talk about this, of what they know, out of fear of what they can be charged with, right? Let's just say, somebody was buying from this guy and he knew that he was going to go buy from somebody, and before he was going to buy from him, and that was the last time he talked to him or whatever. And he knows the guy that he was going to go that who was going to buy from him right before, something like that. That guy probably isn't going to come forward unless he's approached and probably talked to for a bit. Do you think that they met someone there or someone was with them and drove them there? Well, it depends what seat that the victims were in the front seat. We've only heard that the victim was in the front seat. Now, I thought that there's a possibility that one of the victims drove him there by force, right? And the reason being is, again, the police had said that they thought, or that they couldn't determine whether or not this was, the triple murder that ended up being, or a murder-suicide, right? Now, if nobody's in the driver's seat, then, well, nobody really needs to be in the driver's seat. If, if the person goes there, parks, gets in the other seat and does something to themselves. So that's possible. But I would have thought if somebody was there in the front seat that driven the car, that would make me hesitate to say that it possibly was, or I couldn't rule out that it wasn't a murder-suicide, if that makes sense. I feel that if you had somebody tied up and there was nobody driving, somebody in the back seat, somebody, in the front passenger seat, you have those markings where somebody pulled in pretty quick, where it looks like they braked pretty hard. They were traveling at a high rate of speed to get there. Those things don't line up with a murder-suicide. Like none of that lines up with it. Now, if he forced one of them to drive, and then perhaps if there's somebody in the driver's seat, then, there's that possibility. And I think that maybe that could be why they couldn't confirm it right away, if that makes sense. Hope that makes sense. And answer probably about another 3-4 minutes. The whole drive back to that location was definitely not a random dump site. Herb definitely knew that area. Yeah, I agree. And that's all I kept telling myself when I was driving through there. I was like, man, this person knows this area. The only other thing that I could think of was that maybe perhaps this was a meetup spot, where, somebody would go and buy or do an exchange. And the thing is, there were gunshots and in the close range to the house and to the apartment complex. I would have thought that somebody would have, heard that and reported the gunshots. It's also, there's 2 victims here, so you're at least hearing 2 shots. So one to wake you up, one to really tell you what it is. At the very least, you know what I mean? So, I just think that I don't think that the crime was created there. I don't know. I don't know, because if it wasn't created there and they were driven there, then yeah, there was nobody in the driver's seat. And if nobody was in the driver's seat and there's no weapon there, then the police are just saying that it could have been a murder-suicide as a tactic, so that when they do find their suspect, if he confesses, and then he would have details that only he would know and the police would know. What side of San Antonio is this? I used to live on the west side of I-10. This is on the west side, but a little bit further west. This is off of where this was at. I want to say, let me pull up my map. It was near Bandera, but between Bandera and I-10, but closer towards Bandera. Not too far off. Bandera and Seneca, I believe, was the intersection that turned off. And it was probably about maybe a mile down the road from there, maybe a little bit more. I'm sure you're slammed at work. Hold on. So do we have any kind of timeline yet? So the timeline that we've been able to come up with so far was that there was some sort of disturbance at around 11 and 11:12, and that there was family showed up at the residence. There was apparently marijuana, guns, and money in the house. Apparently, sometime after that, there's yelling for help from the house. And sometime between 1 and 6, Matthew's father returns back, kicks the door in, and takes the money, weed, and guns from the apartment. And then the vehicle is found 4 days later. So that's the timeline that we have so far. It was a baby boy, yes. Does nobody have Ring cameras? Apparently there are some cameras there, some Ring cameras. I know for the complex there is, where Matthew's dad kicked in the door, because apparently that's on a Ring cam. It's captured on Ring cam. I don't know about this area. Like I said, I'm gonna drive back out there maybe tomorrow if I have a little bit more time, and I'm just gonna drive the area and just kind of see, if I see surveillance, see, possible exit routes, where somebody would have gone, why they would have chosen this area. Now that I know exactly where the car was, it'll be a lot easier to figure that out. I appreciate you, Grace. Thank you. Is it possible that Matthew thought the perp was trustworthy and was going to accept payment for Pat other idea? I mean, it's possible. If what they said was true, that there was some sort of torture involved, that seems more personal though than anything else, and or a message. Who that message is to, I'm not sure. Those are the two things that tell me that it was personal. And if it's a message to somebody, it's personal. Maybe not so much to the victims, but to somebody closely associated with the victims. If the torture was true, I don't think that they're just gonna, if it's a drug deal gone bad, those things happen quick. They're fast. It's not calculated. They're not planning on torturing somebody. The plan is usually like surround somebody, take what they want, and get out of there. It doesn't get much more detailed or in depth than that. But as you guys can see, when somebody is like possibly involved in some sort of drug stuff, there's evidence there of that. There's a lot of information that's out there that kind of leads or points to that direction. Now, not to bring up the Bryan Kohberger case so much, but for those that think that drugs were involved in that case, when you look at this one and you look at that one, there you can tell that there's some significant differences there, and how that isn't what happened there. I wish our country stopped the gang violence. They're spreading. Yeah. Let's see. Awakened by the looking glass reflection. 1 year ago yesterday, I got the call that my daughter was taken from me. I was 600 miles away. It was ruled as self-inflicted for 9 months, even though it was a gunshot cause of death, but no weapon or bullet found. Really? I don't understand. I'm sorry for your loss, first and foremost. And it doesn't sound like it was self-inflicted. I hope she gets the justice that she needs, and somebody is brought in. Don't get in drugs, folks. Watch your kids and monitor their life. No one loves your kids like you do. That's true. That is true. And with that, I think I'm going to call it a show. Joe, wait, one dumb question. Why do you take the money and the drug? So the father taking the drugs and the money, I'm going to answer this question, and it's going to be the end of this. In my opinion, is one of two things. Either he knew something happened, maybe not to the extent of what had occurred, but something was going on. And maybe he went back to that house to protect his son by taking those things out of the house. He was on probation and those type of things. So is it possible that, his son told him something like, hey, I'm in a bit of trouble. Can you go get the stuff out of the house? And he went. He didn't have a key, so he kicked it in. the other thing is like, the question is though, like, how would he know how much trouble he was in before things happened? And I feel that if there was a call made to dad, I don't know, they'd have to get some warrants. I'm not sure if they would have that yet. Be interesting. I don't know why dad did that. The first thought was protect. The second thought was involvement. But I don't want to say that completely because all we know is that's a possibility that he kicked it in the door. I haven't seen the video. I don't even know what this guy's dad looks like. So I couldn't tell you that he did or didn't, or if the person that did kick it in was him. So we'll see. We'll see. But I want to say thank you to everybody. I appreciate everyone. We'll be back on Friday night. I might come back and put out a couple of videos from here to there, basically of my trip out there. I'm going to go back out there and take some more pictures and videos, and I'll put something together. Our thoughts and prayers go out to the families. We hope that justice is served in this case. With that being said, we'll be back next time. Laters, y'all.